Hey, I want to welcome everyone to my channel. This is Bruce the Boss Brooks. And if you are returning to the channel, don't forget to smash on that like button. And if you're not yet subscribed, definitely want to encourage you to hit that subscription button if you do find value in this conversation and or topic that is being had that you're just not getting from the mainstream media and that they don't want you to have. And also don't forget to hit that notification bell so if when you do subscribe, you can get notified of my latest content as I am putting it out and reporting. So again, just want to say welcome everyone. So the topic of today's discussion I want to have is based upon the recent rally that was had in Washington, D.C. by Candace Owens and her Blexit movement. I believe Officer Brandon Tatum was also a key speaker at that event, and it had a massive turnout, really great. And the walkaway movement, which started actually about a little over 2 years ago by founder Brandon Straka, has also had a number of successful rallies and marches across the country in a lot of liberal controlled cities that you wouldn't expect a large turnout like that in cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, and Baltimore recently. And these are very important. Why? It's all about freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom to be yourself. This is not me supporting the Republican Party specifically and or saying they are the godsend of America and that we all need to vote red. That's not what I'm saying necessarily. Rather, it's all about freedom and supporting individuality, freedom of expression, because truth be told, even though we live in the United States of America, the supposed land of the free, home of the brave, in the recent decades, if not longer, we have actually been living in a society where the mass overwhelming majority have not felt free at all. Not free to express themselves politically and or express their opinions on certain topics and their current events. And also not free to vote the way they want to and or at least acknowledge who it is that they support and or the freedom to choose elsewhere. And that's what we're going to really get into. And that's what the importance of these two movements are, is they're representing, you know what, we have been oppressed for so long, for so many years, if not decades, but we have found support amongst our peers to say, it's okay to feel the way I do and to also vote the way I want to vote if it aligns with my beliefs and or if it aligns with the direction in which I want to see this country and or more specifically my community go. Now, there was a study from the Cato Institute recently released on August of 2020, which showed a whopping 62% of all Americans surveyed did not feel comfortable expressing themselves on matters of politics and or current events. And when you break that number down even more so, you'll see when broken down by political identification, a whopping 52% of those registered or identified as Democrats feel the need to self-censor, that they cannot express their true opinions on certain topics out of fear of backlash and retribution. 59% of those identified as independent, not leaning left or right, but are free, have already said, I'm free to vote whoever I want. I don't specifically align as Democrat or Republican. And yet nearly 60% of those independents are not free to express themselves. And a whopping 77% of all of those registered and or identified Republicans also feel that they cannot express themselves publicly out there without fear of retribution. And what does that tell you? That likely Brandon Straka, what he said in his original walkaway movement video, was that the intolerance is not coming from the right. It seems to be coming from the strong liberal left, that it's making it impossible for you to be who you want to be, express your political thoughts or opinions without being labeled a racist, a xenophobe, a homophobic, xenophobic, racist. Whatever phobia that they can lobby at you, you will be hit with it, or at least that is the fear. Fear that somehow you are evil and wrong for thinking the way you think and are supporting the candidate and or party that you want to support. and they're hurting their own. But this is the reality of our country. People have not felt free to be themselves. And then it's also broken down by ethnicity in this country. A whopping 65% of Latino Americans feel also in this survey, it's done, that they need to self-censor. They cannot honestly, again, express themselves and or identify with the candidate that they most feel in line with. The survey also shows that about 64% of white Americans feel the need to self-censor. Again, fear backlash and being labeled racist, homophobe, whatever the case, and or you're wrong, you're evil. They feel the need to, again, self-censor, to be silent. And about 49% of Black Americans also feel the need to self-censor. And what is that telling us? Not only by political ideology do people feel as though they need to hide who they really are, but even along ethnicity. I hate to say race because we are all one human family. There's only one race, and that is the human race. We're all brothers and sisters in this. I don't care what your melanin, your skin complexion looks like. Yes, we may be born in different parts of the world, and so we come up with different accents, different cultures, beliefs, and obviously skin colors, but we are all one human race, Homo sapiens. So, but when you break it down by ethnicity in this country, again, bottom line is people do not feel the need, feel like they can honestly express themselves. If you're Black, you're somehow, or Latino, you're faced with the threat of being called a sellout, a coon, an Uncle Tom, traitor to your race. Just because if you have more conservative leaning, we all know that Blacks as a majority overwhelmingly vote Democrat. And you feel pigeonholed or pigeonheld in that political party, which is why a lot of our cities are degrading, falling apart, despite the fact that Democrats have maintained control in a lot of these cities like Detroit, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Chicago for over 60 years. And you've seen like Detroit go bankrupt within, recently, about 11 years ago in 2009, and you're seeing other cities also crumble financially. You're seeing the school systems falling apart, failing without any measurable or reasonable fixes and or improvements. Crime drastically rising, poverty increasing amongst minorities and or all groups within various these various cities. You're seeing neighborhoods crumbling apart, degrading, money not funneling in, gentrification happening. Why? It's because they do not feel free to vote for the other party, and the Democratic Party knows this. But what these movements represent, walk away and Brexit, or should I say Blexit, Blexit represent the freedom to say, you know what? We ain't having it no more. I have more conservative, not me personally, but I'm just saying for those individuals who are participating are saying, you know what? I have more conservative beliefs on issues of fiscal conservative, I'm more fiscally conservative. I may not agree with abortion, and that's okay. But this candidate aligns with that. I'm going to vote on these policies. And I am not going to succumb to the pressure of hiding who it is I really am. And I think that needs to be celebrated and supported. Again, it's not about promoting the Republican Party as the savior or be all to end all that we all need to move to. It's all about the freedom of being yourself. And when I see scenes like this.
Nice. Who you voting for in this election?
Donald Trump.
And what's one reason you like Trump?
He's gonna help our community. And see, don't vote for Joe Biden because he's gonna make us a what is it called? A socialist country, y'all. A socialist country. That means we ain't gonna have no freedom. It's gonna be a lot of lockdown.
Exactly.
Vote for Donald Trump. I did this.
Doing everything you can to save America, especially Black America, because we've not been thought about for a long time. But now you're the one who are thinking about us, so we appreciate that.
I am greatly encouraged to see people of all ethnicities, all faiths, religions, and their backgrounds and walks of life being free to come out and come together and show, you know what? This is my beliefs, this is where I stand, and I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm not buying this narrative that Don Lemon and Fredo, Chris Cuomo, is pushing on me and making me believe that I am somehow wrong for holding these beliefs. I'm not buying the message from Rachel Maddow and or MSNBC as a whole. Being free is your birthright. And you should have the freedom to, again, express yourself and vote the way you want. But that has not been the case in this country for a long time. And again, this study was just by the Cato Institute, was just done August of this year. And despite these movements, we still see these high numbers. But again, seeing these movements continually grow is just very refreshing, because it means that we may be heading in the right direction of, again, true freedom of expression. And that's really what it's all about. So if you are someone who is Latino and or black or white, and you have not come out of the political closet yet, which it feels like you have to in order to admit you're voting Republican, just know, based upon that study, you're not alone. It's just a lot of other people who agree with you and or think like you don't feel comfortable to express themselves because they're not sure where you stand either. But you do have that support out there. It is there. These numbers from the Cato Institute show there is a silent majority. These rallies are showing there is a silent majority. You are not alone out there. And I just want you to be encouraged to start speaking out. Stop being shy. And just say, bring it on. And that's why I wanted to start this channel as well, just to make sure that the conversation was had and to let those who feel a certain way know that you are not alone in how you think, how you feel. A lot of the propaganda that's being put out there is a bunch of lies in order to steer you in a particular direction and away from another. And you don't have to buy it anymore. You don't have to listen, and just make sure you are critically examining everything you're being told and observing the facts for yourself and coming to your own conclusion. And I wanted to have this dialogue with y'all as well. So I really want to encourage everyone to comment in the comment section below to let me know what your thoughts are on the growing movement that is occurring. I do want to play another a clip showing this growing movement across the world that hopefully will inspire you to know, hey, a lot of other people of different complexions and walks of life agree with my sentiment, agree with where I stand, and are a lot like me. So that's the video. Let me know what you like in the comment section below. Again, just want to have that conversation and let everyone know you are not alone. We are free. We are growing and heading in the right direction, I feel. And if you agree with this conversation and or the message that I'm trying to put out, as well as my platform, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you have not done so already, hit the hit the subscribe button, and also don't forget to share this video amongst your friends and family, etc., who you feel as though will be receptive to it. This is Bruce the Boss Brooks, and I'm out.